One of the most courageous things that you will ever do is to make the conscious decision to start your life over. Start from scratch, start with nothing. There are so many reasons why we have to make the conscious decision to start our lives over. Whether that is ending abusive relationships, toxic relationships, whether we're having financial hardships, losing a job, or needing to restart our career, or even if we know that it is time for us to go in a new direction. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the steps that you need to take in order for you to effectively restart your journey and start your life over. So welcome back, guys. If you're new here, my name is ChimereNicole. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some effective ways to start over. No matter how old you are, no matter what life throws your way, it is okay to start over. And today we're going to be discussing some ways that you can effectively do that. I have had to start over, so I understand what it takes in order for you to do so. So I'm going to walk you through a few steps and some fundamentals in order for you to have an effective restart to your journey, and we're going to jump right into today's video. One thing that I want to say before we even get into the tips is that starting over is hard. Okay, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to make it cookie cutter. I'm going to give you the real. Starting over is not an easy thing. The difference between you and someone else is that you've already taken the first step, and that is realizing not only that you want to start over and that there is a need for you to start over, and you've already started to utilize the resources that you have at your disposal, i.e. this video, to figure out a way to effectively do that. So kudos to you, because again, that is the hardest part for anyone starting their life over, is really accepting the fact that it has to be done and then actually creating an action plan in order for you to do so. Once you have decided that you need to start over, figuring out a way to do that is also the hardest part. And there's so many different opinions and so many different things that we read and see, and direct influences that shape the decisions that we make each and every day. So again, you've already made the decision to start over. You've already decided that this is the journey that you need to take, and now you need to figure out a way to create an action plan in order for you to do so. So that's what we're going to be discussing today in this video. I've mentioned previously that you've already started to take the first steps. You decided that you needed to make a change, but the one thing that I want to emphasize to you is how important it is for you to reframe your mindset and reframe your thinking. It is not too late to restart. It is not too late for you to live the life that you are dreaming about and live the life that you know that you deserve. And as soon as you understand that, it's going to make a lot of these next decisions that you have to make a lot easier. So one of the things that I had to do on my journey is I had to accept the fact that not only I had to start over, I had to do some inner reflection. And the one thing that I think really helped me was being able to look at this as an opportunity. I didn't think about it and say, oh, I got to start over. I lost this. I'm losing this. You know, my life before this was a waste. I looked at this as a new opportunity. Think of it like starting a new job. So you lose one job, but now you realize there are so many other job offers available. There are so many ways that you can change careers. This is an opportunity for you to elevate your situation. Whether you are starting from scratch, you are literally starting from nothing, you are laying the groundwork for the dream. You are laying the groundwork for the life that you want. So I looked at this as an opportunity, not only for me to learn, but an opportunity for me to have the life that I missed out on all of those years prior. When I think about restarting, one of the things that I think about is a lot of times we mourn the fact that we are losing out on something, whether that is people, places, things. When I thought about my journey and when I made the conscious decision to restart my journey and to restart my life, one of the things that kind of popped into my head was Legos and that game. Remember Jenga? I thought about Jenga for some reason. I don't know why, but I think this is a really good way for me to explain the fundamentals and the foundation on rebuilding something. So when you play the game of Jenga, typically you have a solid structure, and each time you make a decision or someone else's turn, you have to take a piece from that foundation. No matter how many pieces you take and no matter where you take those pieces from, eventually the structure is going to fall. So I want you to think about this as it relates to like building a solid foundation or building a home. If you do not have a solid structure at the bottom in which you're going to build upon your home, and in this case your dream life, if that foundation is not solid, it doesn't matter what you build on top of that foundation, on top of that slab, it is not going to stand. Over the years, I have been able to create some really wonderful memories. I've accomplished a lot of things, especially earlier on, like in my early 20s, in my early 30s. And then it got to the point where I was putting so much on a foundation that was structurally not right. It didn't matter what the positive things was. The foundation that I had was not structurally sound in order to withstand all of the things that I was putting on top of it. So I had to make a conscious decision. Do I want to continue to do all of these great things and build and build and build on top of a faulty structure? Or do I want to restart, go back to the beginning, focus on building a strong foundation so that all of the things that I want to build on top of that foundation will have something solid to be built on? That's the decision I had to make, and that was in a lot of regards of my life, not just, you know, personally. That was career-wise, that was in terms of relationships, all of that. I had to make a decision, and once I made that decision, the outlook was, look at all the things that I could be potentially losing out on. Of course, the fear of starting over started to creep in, and I would say to myself, if I start over now, look at all of the things I would have to throw away. Look at all of the memories that I would have to throw down the drain. Look at all of the things that would be for nothing. But then I had to switch my mind frame. I had to switch my mindset and say, yes, you did all of these amazing things, but you did it on a foundation that was not structurally sound. So do you want to continue to put stuff on this foundation and let everything crumble? Or do you want to start over, start fresh, start solid, and continue to build so that the things that you are building will last? For me, the decision was clear. I needed to start over, and that is what I did. I needed to start over, and that is exactly what I did. And I can definitely say, looking on the other side of that, all of the fear, all of the trepidation, all of the feelings of inadequacy and failure, all of the things that I had to experience when I started this new journey was worth it. So with that, one of the biggest hurdles that you are going to face, and possibly this is the thing that is going to essentially stop you from doing the hard work of restarting your life, and that is going to be fear. Fear is one of those things that will have you in a chokehold. It is something that will stop you from becoming the woman that you want to be. It will stop you from going after the job that you want, the career that you want, starting that business, getting into new relationships, starting a family. Fear is a crippling feeling, and also some of the things that is associated with fear, and that is the feelings of inadequacy, the fear of facing your own demons and really thinking about how you contributed to your current situation, and also shame that you may feel internally, or shame that you are afraid to experience from other people, especially your loved ones. All of the things that I just mentioned and the feelings that come with that are valid, and these are things that you may experience. I know I started to feel some of these things, and it's okay. But as I said, once you start to reshape how you think about it and how you see fear, and realize that once you get over that hurdle, there are so many positive aspects of starting over. There is beauty on this other side of fear. Your biggest blessings are going to be on the other side of fear. I am speaking from personal experience. Once you start to face those demons and you really start to face the hardest part of this journey, which is that fear, the blessing that God has for you on the other side of that fear, you will not be able to contain that blessing. Another part of that fear is the fear of letting go. I'm not saying that when you start over that you have to start over because everything from your past was just so bad and so wrong, and you just want to forget all of it. Sometimes when you start over, you have to start over knowing that parts of your past were amazing. You had some great experiences, you had some great relationships, but a part of letting go is being able to make peace with the good experiences as well as the bad experiences. Another thing that really remained true to me when I wanted to start over, and really when I was in the beginning phases of this journey, was understanding that My old life was truly going to cost me my new one. I knew I had to sacrifice my old life in order for me to truly go after my new life. And again, once I made peace with that decision, it just fueled something in me to even go harder. Even in the fear, even when I was experiencing the shame, even when I was feeling the embarrassment of starting over, I knew on the other side of all of those feelings, my blessing was there. So it made me work 10 times harder to go and get it. Change your mindset, change your verbiage as well. Don't use words that are going to have a negative connotation on you and also affect how you feel. So instead of using words that are going to make you feel negative, reframe how you think so that it's going to reframe how you speak. I had to tell myself, I can't believe I have the opportunity to restart. I can't believe I have an opportunity to get it right. This is an opportunity for me to restart my day on a positive mindset. I have the opportunity to go after the life of my dreams. I would also say things like, I am choosing me, and in choosing me, I am choosing a new life. I'm daring to step out on faith and do something that no one else has ever done. All of those phrases were ways that I was able to reshape the way that I thought and also reshape the way that I spoke to myself, so that I was always creating an internal dialogue that was positive. As soon as I started to think something negative, I would start to say these things over and over and over. As you guys know, if you're new to my channel, I'm a really big advocate of affirmations and writing down affirmations. So if I didn't say it to myself, I would read it to myself. I would have them all over to make sure that I was always constantly seeing and speaking positive things while I was starting over. So now we're going to jump into some of the tips that I have for you guys in order for you to restart your life. Again, these are things that I have done, and these things are not in any particular order. I just wrote them down so that I would be able to express them to you guys in this video. So let's jump right into that. So the first one I talked about earlier, when that was to make sure that you have a strong foundation. But in this tip, I want to talk about that foundation as it relates to your belief system. When you embark on a journey of restarting your life, you're going to be dealing with some self-esteem issues. You're going to be dealing with your lack of confidence. You're going to be dealing with your lack of self-worth and going back and forth with your emotions. Making sure that you have a strong foundation and a strong belief system, i.e. some of those affirmations I talked about, is really going to help you on this journey. One of the things that I have learned is that your confidence is basically a belief that you can do something, and you build your confidence by doing. So if you want to believe that you can do something, you have to continue to do it. Prime example, you believe that your breath is not going to stink in the morning because you brush your teeth, right? You believe that. You believe that because it has been done. You believe it because you do it every day, and you believe it because you've had years and years of experience. This same type of example is going to be used as you restart your journey. You believe that you can do it because every single day you're going to get up, you're going to make a conscious decision, you're going to speak those affirmations over yourself, you're going to do all of the things that you need to do that are going to help you long term. You're going to build your belief system each and every day and build your confidence by being consistent. Make sure that you keep in mind as you restart that time is not a factor. Age is not a factor. It does not matter how old you are. And I know I said this earlier, you can start over in your 20s, you can start over in your 60s. I've seen people start over in their 80s. It is never too late. If God has given you breath in your body, you always have another opportunity to get it right. So age is not a factor, nor is time. One of the things that I even had to say to myself when I was going back to school was, oh, I'm in my 30s and I don't want to be, pushing 40 when I decide to go back to school. No matter what decision I decided to make, God willing, I was going to see 40 anyway. So don't let time be a contributing factor on why you do or don't do certain things. It is never too late. And the longer you wait to make that decision, the more time you are robbing yourself of the blessing. I am telling you, the longer you wait to figure out who it is that you want to be, the life that you want to live, and do the internal work, create that foundation so that everything that you are seeking to build is going to be structurally sound. The longer you wait to do that, the more you rob yourself of the experiences and the blessing that God has for you. Again, time is not a factor, and it is going to go by regardless. So do not wait. Do not say, oh, I'm going to start next week, or I'm going to start when the kids get out of school, or I'm going to start when the kids go off to college, or I'm going to start when, I end this relationship. Do not wait. Start to do the work now, because your future self is going to thank you for it. The one tip that I can give you that I know is going to be so instrumental to you is that you always want to remain a student. And I think for me, that is a part of why I have been able to progress. I have never been a person that always says, oh, I know it all. Even if I knew it, that's great. But I always have been open to learning a new technique, learning a new way of thinking, just being open to new experiences and new ideas, because there is something to learn from every situation and from every person that you meet. So being a student, especially in the beginning phases of you starting over and really kind of going into this journey, is going to be instrumental to your progress. So always be open to learning. Always be open to asking questions, but be very selective on what information you take in and what information you apply. This is where you have to have a discerning spirit. This is why I'm such an advocate of having mentors in my life, because I don't like to take information from everybody. I try to take information from people who have already done what I want to do. Why would I take feedback from somebody who has never done this, who has never started over, who has never lost anything, who has never had to rebuild? I like to take information from people who have been where I want to go. So I hope that you can find someone in your life, find you a mentor who you are able to lean into, learn from, and continue to be a student. As you are starting over, you are creating a new chapter in your book, in the book of your life. You are the architect of your life. God has given you the vision. He will give you the provision in order for you to construct the life that you want to live. So as you're constructing this life, make sure that you have the fundamental pieces. You are focusing on things that are going to help you create that solid foundation. Those things are working on your discipline, working on your time management skills, working on your budgeting, and also working on your education. As I said earlier, you are always going to remain a student. These are some of the fundamental things that you have to now learn and sometimes relearn so that your foundation is strong. Remember, you cannot build a house on a faulty foundation and pray that it is going to withstand the storms of life. Your foundation has to be strong. As I said earlier, it is never too late to start, but remember, the longer you wait to do that, the less time you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So think about time as a luxury. You don't want to waste it doing things that are not going to help you long term. So be smart and use the time that you have to create the life that you want to live. So that's it for today's video, queens. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that the things that we talked about in this video resonate with you and really help you on your journey to become the woman, to become the queen that God has designed for you to be. But in order for you to do that, you have to restart, and you have to restart now. If you have not done so already, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I do post videos here on the channel each week, and I would love for you to join the family. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.